program is sponsored in part by Turkish Cultural Foundation, Amity Helal Meat and Grocery, and Auto Century.
to the Turkish-American Hour. I'm Gökşin Kerry. We have Heyecan Veziroglu in our studios today. Heyecan Veziroglu, born in New Jersey and raised in Turkey.
I was born in Jersey City, indeed, and raised in Turkey. And I had my education at Rutgers and Bilkent universities, majoring in politics, international affairs, and English literature.
And why poetic theater?
Because it awakens imagination, and I see it as a weaving between poetry and drama.
When do you find the inspiration for your poetry?
In different settings, especially when I see monuments, historical castles, or any other historical setting, in Turkey especially, I was very much impressed, like Dolmabahce Palace or Çırağan, you know. I think like as if I am in a spiritual journey.
Yeah, well, it is a spiritual journey. Mm-hmm. Hey, John, your theatrical aspirations, do they come from your mother?
I guess so. She has been a prima donna, theater actress during the 60s, and she was a very well distinguished actress, and I get affected by her, indeed.
And we see a book here. It is a very nice book. When did you publish it?
2003.
Oh. Mm-hmm. And is this all the poems you have in here, or you have more poems?
I do have more poems, and some of them will be put into music. And I like to write in original English and original Turkish. It's really, I would like to use the sounds and the alliteration with my poetry. You know, I perform music of language.
Now Heyecan will perform her poetic theater, the music of language.
Centuries ancient wisdom, it's as if she listens to Mozart, wandering his mystical kingdom, beyond knowledge, reading Sartre, watching the Ottoman palaces, Turkish charm around world's arm, Anatolian women shaping white laces, dreaming the Hittite warrior, the spell of authentic pieces. See the folly of Anatolia. You sleep deep on Silver River, hover between life and death. Your body power seems to be over. Ancient souls greet your bed. Eye shadows cover Silver River. Greenish meadows kiss golden rays. Lights, purple darkness, and you. Remains the secrecy of Silver River. Rays of shy sun draw golden lines on the surface of the deep blue sea. Far above the clouds, birds of twilight I see. Touch of your magical stick. Fairy voices I hear are so mystic. I swim in silver bubbles of river. Stubborn wind doesn't blow the meadow. My hands touch your blue shadow. Rain can't fall on oily earth. Silver River cleans the dust and the dirt. Hover between life and death. Your soul is in deep sleep and you weep.
Hey, John, thank you very much for being with us here today.
It's my pleasure, thank you.
Thank you for watching Turkish-American Hour. I'm Gökşin Kerry.
Turkey's Aegean coast is a land of pine-clad limestone mountains and broad fertile plains. The rich river valleys yield bumper crops of cotton, tobacco, olives, figs and sultanas, those small flavorful grapes dried to make golden raisins. The Aegean climate is mostly mild and pleasant, with hot dry summers and cool rainy winters. In ancient times, the Aegean coast was a land of kingdoms. Aeolis, later Pergamum, Caria, Ionia and Lydia. It produced some of history's most memorable people, including King Midas of the Golden Touch. King Croesus, the inventor of coinage, the poet Homer, and Herodotus, the world's first great historian. Pergamum, in the North Aegean, rose to prominence after the death of Alexander the Great in 323 BC. Soon its king ruled much of western Anatolia. Parchment was invented here, helping Pergamon's library of more than 200,000 books to rival that of Alexandria. The Asclepion of Pergamon, directed by Galen, was the world's first great medical centre. Izmir, Turkey's third largest city, dominates the central Aegean coast. Badly damaged by war in 1922, it is now a vibrant modern city set on broad Izmir Bay. Looming above the city centre is Kadifekale, a hilltop fortress built by Alexander the Great. Balchova, on the outskirts, is famous for its healthful hot springs. Ephesus, once the capital of Roman Asia Minor, is the best preserved classical city on the Aegean and among the finest sights in the world. Walk its marble streets past classical temples, libraries and houses to the 24,000-seat Great Theatre, and you can easily imagine yourself transported back to Roman times. Ephesus grew rich from trade coming into its well-sheltered harbour. Pilgrims travelled the royal road from the east to pay homage to Cybele Artemis, the Anatolian fertility goddess. Her stupendous temple at Ephesus, called the Artemision, was among the 7 wonders of the world. St. Paul preached to throngs in the Great Theatre, and legend has it that the Virgin Mary came to Ephesus with St. John at the end of her life. Among the highlights of a stroll through Ephesus are the 2nd century Library of Celsus, beautifully restored, the Temple of Hadrian from about the same time, the Odeon or Council Chamber, and the Prytaneum or City Hall. The terrace houses on the hillside overlooking the main street are filled with fine mosaics. Many have been restored. For an entirely different view, head eastwards into the mountains to Şirince, a charming town surrounded by vineyards and fruit orchards. Relax in one of its restaurants and enjoy a glass of local fruit wine. South of Ephesus, the ruins of ancient Priene are perched on a plateau backed by a sheer rock cliff. Beneath the plateau sprawls the broad floodplain of the river Meander, whose name is now used to describe twisting, turning rivers everywhere.